So even before building anything, we have to tell ourselves to not build until we think the market clearly. A truly successful product should have consistent like a data flow, user flow, and cash flow. Everybody now, like as founders building AI products, I think we're kind of like building some AI wrappers, because eventually all those outdated systems will be replaced by some AI natives. It's like we cannot force them to change to be adapted to us.
Yeah.
We somehow try to integrate into their work.
That's right. Let's get back to the session 2 about the interview. We are currently interviewing Chi. He's currently in Tokyo and doing his startup. And we have just finished the first section. And then now the second section we are talking about and the recent updates from Chi. So we met in Fujitsu events.
Yes.
Also we met Jasper. So I think that time there are many things has been changed, even though it's like a half year we met each other. So let's talk about what you recently has been changed. What kind of the transition you're currently thinking about your startup? What is the new product? What you're gonna building your new product, and how do you do this customer acquisition? What's different from the first time?
I think for now, like since we started to build our own business, it's about like almost a year, and I think it's like everything like happens so fast. So like before this like a startup, like I kind of have different roles, like a researcher, engineer, and now more like entrepreneur. So I'm trying to have a very consistent, unified mindset. So before I'm thinking about, I was mostly interested in like building features, trying to build maybe a software application. By that time, we're kind of like thinking about the data flow, like the input, output, algorithm, and the latency, accuracy. And then we start to polish it as a product. We think about the user experience. We think about it like a user journey map, how users, they feel about our product. It's not about from engineers, think about those metrics, their emotions. Is like really helpful to their workflow. And then like, because we have to make it as a business, we have to think about the money. We have to think about the cash flow. Think about like how much we should charge. Is it like a fair, or is it like worthy, like too much or too low? So now I think like every perspective should be consistent. A truly, successful work or product should have like a consistent like a data flow, user flow, and cash flow. That's what I'm learning right now. And because like as we mentioned, as founders or builders, there's so many things, so many topics, so many voices. It's very risky. Like if we focus everything into like one demo and without like thinking about user acquisition, and then we realize we're losing our money.
That's right.
Maybe that's too late. But now like we're thinking about this like more strategically. So even before building anything, so now we have to tell ourselves to like not build until we think the market clearly. So now we try to think about the real market first. So who will be our customer? We think about like how we get to those customers. Are they our friends? Like do we know them? Like or are they maybe a completely different new segment? Let's say if we are building something for lawyers, do we have any connections? Or we try to find a, like, even before building anything, we try to think about the customer first, trying to lower the risk. And we also think about, do they have any like existing solutions, right? Because everybody now, like as founders building AI products, I think we're kind of like building some AI wrappers. So the point is like, is actually how is it different from like the vanilla general ChatGPT? Is like 5 times better or 10 times better? What's the fundamental distinction? That's something we really need to ask ourselves, and we must be very, honest, right? Because as founders, we think about our product or like service is amazing. It's really hard to get get across to the users because they have their workflow. It's like we cannot force them to change to be adapted to us.
Yeah.
We somehow try to integrate into their work.
That's right. That's right.
So now basically my job is like just by talking to many customers, and especially not just by talking to asking them about features, but more like I'm literally very interested into their work. I try to learn their domain knowledge. Like let's say they're a lawyer. I want to be their assistant to know their daily workflow.
That's right.
Like what kind of tools they're using, what they're thinking logic, what they're like. Let's say like I talked to a lawyer that they told me basically they have to record everything, like every single minute, because that's like lawyers their daily job. So they charge by those logs. To show the detailed logs every minute, like every hour, like what they have been doing to the customers, and to justify their labor. So that's their like their workflow. So they really need some like a reliable, like a consistent, like something to record themselves.
You mean recording is not audio recording; it's the recording their activity about working on some task.
Yeah, I mean, can be anything. Like can be like audio or video or anything. But at the same time, you also have to think about from the actual people, because they don't want to feel like they're watched by AI,
Yeah.
right? So they don't want to feel like they're monitored by someone. So that's somehow like something interesting. They have a need, and also you need to think about their experience. And that's now we try to combine different factors, not only just like directly diving into a feature, an application, but more from the users.
So now, do you have a specific user type? For example, just business. Are you focusing on C, which is our normal clients? Is that something you still thinking in your mind, or you want to do something which is not specific to our specific person?
I think now we're very interested in board meetings. So we start with like as I mentioned, like our previous application is a very general meeting tool, meeting assistant. We try to talk to different people, different professionals, like lawyers, healthcare providers, students, different things. So we're now like just thinking about the board meetings. We are kind of like a first-time founders. It's a completely different like subject. The more we study, the more we learn, we realize, so existing tools around board meetings is still it's a very outdated like system, probably 20 years ago. And they're adding more AI features. We think that's a very good chance, because eventually all those outdated systems will be replaced by some AI natives, because it's not gonna work, right? So those big systems, they are designed, like they are written with previous technology. So even though you're adding features or wrappers, like say you have AI calendar, you have AI summary, it's not how AI works. AI doesn't care about those like modules. With something like AI native, like it will be at least actually 10 times better, because maybe I can give you one example, right? So maybe like say those systems, there will be some dashboard. They're showing you so many like metrics or features. They're trying to somehow to be helpful, to give you more information. But essentially, right now in this era, like we are just like drawing in so much information. We just want something, maybe an assistant or a voice to tell you like what's the next state, like next move, or what it's like the figure, or is like your current number good or bad, right? You want something very clear. You don't want to spend extra time from reading text then to read some graphs, diagrams. So my point is like now we are doing this like a board meeting. We are focusing on board meeting because we see there's a chance, but the bar is very high. It's very difficult to enter this field, because you're actually essentially you're selling your solution to board members, to CEOs, to like the chairperson. It's definitely like a B2B product, and it's very tough, and the cycle is very long. So usually you have to convince them like you pass all those like security, data privacy requirement, GDPR or different requirements, and until you can get your first early adopter. But we still think that's why there's actually less competitors, and still like all the giants, they're just like by adding AI features, they're still like dominating the market. I think just like think from us, we're trying to find so technology is only one aspect. We're trying to solve this problem by actually connecting to more board members to have some early adopters. Because from our early conversation with those like people, they're having terrible experience with those like systems. Yeah, but they have no choice.
I see.
Yeah, the pain is very true. The pain is very strong, and that they have no choice. They cannot use their own system. They cannot purchase some software because that's something designed or decided by the whole board. I think, sorry, I think that's a challenge now is more like how we validate the business side. Yeah.
So you validate this pain is really the pain.
Yes.
And really hard.
Yeah.
So next step is currently what kind of approach you are currently working on this new project?
Yeah, it's very interesting because like the more you understand, you learn a domain or subject, you will see more. You are going to dive into those details, right? So before we started this like a board meeting thing, a board meeting is a very vague, not a clear concept to us. A board meeting sounds like a meeting, but board meeting is actually a very long cycle. Board meeting is actually usually you have to have quarterly meetings. So usually 3 months is a very long process. So I say before the board meeting, you have to prepare all the different things like from operation to daily work. But usually for board members, they don't touch those daily operations. They're more like a monitor. They're more like reading like papers, numbers. Before the meeting, they have to somehow understand what happened throughout the 3 months. So usually it's a very, very heavy burden for everyone. They have to like go across a few hundred pages. So that's something a very strong pain. And during the meeting, usually like I say 2 to 4 hours. So that's a very challenging time because like you are discussing very important topics in such a short time. Everybody wants to be smart. You want to show your value to other members, to the board. Very often, you also have different duties. So some people, let's say some investor, they get a board member, they get a seat because they invest some companies. So usually the investor, they are at maybe 10 different boards. Every year, this company has like 4 board meetings. So for that investor, maybe he has like they have 40 meetings, and they have to follow everything. It's such a burden for the person itself, individually, to know everything. But he or they have to show their value. So they have to give very insightful advice because the CEO, they're expecting something from you because they're actually paying money or they're giving equity to different board members. So during the board meeting, it's very important because it will determine the direction of the company for the next quarter. After the meeting is also very important because like you make some decisions, you have a roadmap, you have to make sure everything just under governance and compliance. So it's a very long cycle, very essential roles in the company.
Nowadays, you're not only just know what you are going to be doing, performing with the application during the meeting, but it's also about the process, the whole process.
Yes.
About how they do business.
Yeah.
And specifically finding the way of your product connecting points, make every single activity connected.
Yeah. So
a better experience.
Yeah. Sure. So I think like it's very interesting because like eventually you want to cover everything. Because that's
but you cannot probably do everything.
Yeah,
so you need to pick those pain points.
Yeah, definitely. So for now, like our most urgent like task is actually to find the entry point, right? Do we want to offer a service? Let's say if they have like they have recordings, are we gonna offer something to have a higher quality, or are we gonna offer a product to help them to quickly prepare for the meeting? Yeah. Or are we going to make a system to literally monitor the operation? Say if it's following the decision and vision from the board meeting.
Or maybe after that, you can also monitor what the planning is. There something missing from the meeting, which is the big points they have to follow. So they kind of are mapping back.
Yes.
So you have different approaches.
Yeah, so different approaches, different entry points. Different entry points, it involves different like stakeholders, different users. Let's say if we are focusing something post-meeting, so we have to have a system integrating not only from board members, so from employees.
How they break it down to different goals and KPIs, which related to back to this board meeting decisions.
Yes, and now it feels like you are building a system to monitor VPs, managers, like employees. They don't like it, right? So if you're making an application to help the individual board member to prepare, it's more like a B2C product. Different entry point, it requires different, features, like stakeholders, user experience, different design. And we have to also, at the same time, we have to validate the price. Like, let's say if we are selling a thing to the company post-meeting, monitor the whole company, we can charge, like, let's say how much money. If we're just like selling as a assistant tool to help them to prepare their like a presentation, it's just more like an individual thing. As I mentioned earlier, so we have to make sure everything, all those aspects, they are consistent.
So that's why you're thinking about who your customer is and the way you acquire these customers. And their decision-making process. Which all will result in your management costs. Which also part of your whole cost of your offering. So you have to make sure it's always positive, otherwise you're losing money.
For sure.
Especially for your new target audience, which they are board members. I think they are hard to reach at first. You have to find them. It's very hard. It's not very easy to reach to those senior level. I should say. So that part can make it a little bit overpriced for your product. So how do you make sure that people like your overpriced product? Because everyone thinking about AI will be something cheap, simple add-on, but if you charge them like $500 or maybe $10,000, that'll be a lot.
So that's a really great point. So that's why we've been talking to many people, many board members. I'll say, so if we position such a tool as like a meeting preparation assistant, so essentially you're competing with ChatGPT. They can simply drop their PDFs, slides, anything into ChatGPT, get some summaries, get some insights, I would say something, and they can ask some questions or like try to polish their writings. That's free. So you can now charge money because like they can simply use ChatGPT or Copilot. But I say if we are targeting or position such a thing as something post-meeting, it's like we are helping your company, we are helping your business to make sure your decision is actually following the law, following the governance, like following the compliance. Because usually those companies, they're very big companies, international companies. The laws are the landscape right now in the whole world is changing rapidly, like tariff, right? So there are so many things happening. Like it's very hard for individual to follow all the different things all the time. We are making a system to make sure your company is on the right track. And usually like we're competing with like, let's say consultant. Let's say they are paying McKinsey for $500,000. And let's say we only charge $5,000 per month. I think like we mentioned before, like now like the pricing like for AI product is changing. Now they're now charging for seat. They're now charging for like how many employees in your company are using my application. We're charging for the outcome. So let's say usually if they pay consulting firm such big money, they're paying for it. It's like an insurance. They are paying something to make sure everything is following the rule. And we're offering the same thing. If you're still on the right track.
So it's kind of like a AI native consultancy. You can say that.
Yeah, it's like AI governance too. That's only one entry point, right? So like because that's how we validate all different entry points. So we want to see clearly by which entry point, what will be the outcome, who will be our competitors, what will be our unique value proposition, how much money essentially we can earn from that market.
It's really an AI agent service for the senior board members. I can think about like that way. So it's interesting topic. I think we can also talk more about this in the future, things you are building and validating.
Yeah, sure.
We definitely will do that.
Yeah.
Like, let's talk about your personal efficiency, productivity.
Okay.
I heard that you are actually doing a lot of working late at night at the share office. I think you mentioned that you use the board.
Yes.
Whiteboard.
Yeah.
Why? And then what's the whole process? Let's hear more about that.
Okay. I'll say I've been learning different tools and being adaptive to my environment. So before we got a chance to use like the Fujitsu's their office, probably since last year, I've been actively using cloud. Before cloud offered the different subscription like Max, like as I mentioned earlier. So we usually, or personally, I usually hit the limit pretty often. I think probably every 4 hours, there's some conversations or some like message back and forth you can talk to cloud. My workflow back then is like I'll try to use those like tokens or limits within the 4 hours. I'll be very, very focused in that 4 hours. Keep talking. I only take a break, take a rest when I hit the limit.
The limit time is your tea time.
Yeah, it's my tea time. Actually, my sleeping time.
Sleeping time.
Because like I've been working full time on this startup. I didn't have to go to an office, or I can just completely control my lifestyle. So I say like I work for 4 hours, sleep 2 hours, work another 4 hours. That's my daily lifestyle.
Really? You did that?
Yeah, for a while. And then I would say like I feel very lucky, just like cloud, they have this new max plan, and now I have become a normal person. Now,
you are the first AI native or lifestyle I heard of.
But actually even before that, like my like a bit personal, like I think I've been having some like nap for almost past 10 years. My personal preference, like I try to split my day into half. It feels like I have 2 days. So like when I take a nap, it's like to reset everything.
The second half,
and
different.
It's very just because like I think I mentioned like around 23, I did my internship like with a Japanese company, and then I went back to the States and continue to work with them. So basically, I have like the different time zones. So I literally set the first 12 hours for my work in the States, the second 12 hours for my work in Japan.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. And then I think I've been keeping that rhythm.
Interesting. Cool. And so what is actually rewriting on your whiteboard?
Oh,
I'm sort of curious.
For the whiteboard, it's like very interesting because like even before I came to Japan, I had a whiteboard in the States, and I also have a whiteboard. But I also like whenever I leave, I have a big board. I would try to map out every concept. I just try to fill out the board with so many things, maybe seemingly unrelated. Maybe let's say something about market, something about someone's name, some technology, some emotions like surprise, or just all of these things. And then I try to like step out, like have some distance, try to find some connections.
So you write everything on the board?
Yeah.
But you go a little bit distance.
Yes. Yeah.
And observe this board from that is why you cannot do that digitally.
Yeah, for sure.
You have to scroll everywhere and find who are there.
Yes.
And then you lost mine.
Yes.
So I think that's what I see.
Yeah, that's why I really like the board like in Fujitsu. Like it's like
very big.
Like they have like 3 times bigger than the
wow,
a regular
that's
board.
Interesting. That
So
really give me some insight.
I will write everything and try to add more stuff as much as possible, and then I wipe out everything, clean, reorganize everything, and only write down the keyword I want to focus. Let's say maybe I wrote 50 different concepts, and then I only select 1 or 2 things I want to focus. Maybe for my personal cycle, my personal sprint.
So after another iteration, you will probably do this another board again.
Yes.
And then you clean up the things. So it's like an iteration.
Yes.
To make your focus. On something which is more important.
Yes.
Wow, that's a very good iteration about ideas.
Yeah.
So you do that repeatedly, even though you have to write similar things again and again.
Yes.
But that's fine because you're more focused on those things.
Yes, and also because like you will realize, because like sometimes you have same concept, or I say same technology, let's say ASR, or sometimes you have now you have a different like domain for now, like we say we have board meeting, it's now a general meeting, and we see how they're connected. Let's say before, let's say like a very concrete example. I mentioned, so the accuracy for ASR like is about 95%. It's not good enough for real-time communication or transcription or even real-time translation, because there's so many errors, mistakes. But if we are using this in the board meeting, we can always have the like whole recording, and then also we can have some humans, like real like interpreters, to double check, to verify. So now it feels like the AI transcription is now the only source of truth. You have different like you use different technologies, you have different solutions, try to achieve a better goal. So your goal is now to offer transcript. Your goal is to have some board intelligence. But now the ASR is actually acceptable. So that's why I try to map out all those things actively or to adaptively to add some connections. Because every time when I write something on the board, the connection might be different.
Yeah.
And maybe like I say, this afternoon we meet some new friends, new connections, and I will add their names on the board. Because before I know you as like a developer, as a founder, or when I realize you also like taking pictures, taking photos, it's completely different things. Maybe sometime it becomes a very interesting connections to my maybe a project.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I learned a lot from this sharing of your working style,
Yes.
and I learned quite a lot of insights.
Yeah.
It's very good talking to you this time.
Yeah.
Although it's my second interview, I'm lucky to have you here.
A pleasure.
So I really wish we can have another dialogue in the future.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and I hope everyone listening to this or watching this interview will be having some learning as well. And let's do it next time.
Okay, great.
And thank everyone for watching. And if you're interested in this channel, you can subscribe, and we will offer more about the kind of interview in the future. Thank you very much.
I appreciate it. Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me.